Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Inconceivable!
It's inconceivable that anybody could be having a meaningful life today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very inconceivable episode of the Friday Night Feature, the one day of the month where I do all the movies that Jared won't let me. And joining me today is a very colorful cast of characters. First off, we have the writer of Eagles herself. We have Rose Eagle Rider. How you doing, girl?
Ready to cause evil. Or celebrate a movie that's very close and near and dear to me.
I shall prepare for trouble. And last and certainly not least, we have the Chungus of the Among Us. We have Chris Chungus. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, that's right. I am the man kingpin.
Oh, God.
Uh,
So, how's everyone doing today?
Psychotic.
Just glad that I have internet again.
Yeah, it's been a weird week for internet. Like, I had like the power go out on mine, and my internet was kind of screwy for like the next few days. Seemed to have kind of sorted itself out, so I'm happy. But it's just really weird. So let's just kind of jump into the headlines, shall we? We got like one pretty interesting one, and then some shilling. But let's just jump right in.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
All right, so this is Headline Hysteria, where we cover all the topics that are important, but not quite important for a full stream. First on the docket, we got Silent Hill Too Much. And Chris, as a person who suggested it, can you take it away?
Sure. So, as a big fan of the Silent Hill 2 game, it was weird to see that they were making a remake of it, first of all. But the more that I started seeing of the remake, the more it kind of confused me based on what the years, the decades after the game came out and all of the discussions and all the psychoanalysis and everything about the characters. It was so strange seeing this trailer that came out in Sony's little whatever that E3 surrogate was that they had.
It's their discount. It's their not what is it? In a direct light. It's basically Sony continues to copy Nintendo.
Yeah, and they put out a full, like, kudos to them for putting out a pretty sweet couple of trailers for the game. And I'm sure to somebody that's never played Silent Hill 2, this probably looks really cool. But I played, like, again, this was one of my favorite games back in the
Look 2000s. At what they have done. They've gone full Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, so that's Angela Orozco, who's one of the... Just to give you some premise of what Silent Hill 2 is, forget what you know about Silent Hill and think of movies like Jacob's Ladder or Lost Highway, where basically Silent Hill is this purgatory that has basically attracted lost or damned souls. And you play this character, James Sunderland. Yeah, is my internet we're no...
I can still hear him.
Yeah. Okay, you cut out there for a second. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So just to reiterate what I was saying, Silent Hill is this place that's like a purgatory that attracts lost and damned souls, and you play as one of these lost, damned souls, James Sunderland, who had issues with his wife. And one of the first characters that he meets is this really odd woman named Angela Orozco, and she's like, right off the bat, you know something's wrong. You're in the cemetery and she's looking at gravestones, and she has a very juvenile like demeanor. You know, the woman looks like she's probably in her like probably late 20s, early 30s, but she's got like the voice.
She looks like she's about ready to apply for AARP.
That looks like Bob Hoskins in a wig.
Oh God! Oh my God!
Yeah, you can't unsee it now. But not only that, but her voice is very. It's a very strong component of her character. Because again,
hey kids, remember when I played Mario in Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah, I was drunk the whole time. No, Well, again, when I was going through university and I went through the whole psychology thing, we were looking at trauma and abuse survivors, and especially in children. And one of the key, I guess, side effects of that is arrested development from an emotional perspective, where a lot of times people that have been assaulted, especially the S type, they revert back to a childlike demeanor. And that's what Angela kind of presented. She has a very meek, mousy voice, but yet at the same time, later on, you start seeing that she gets a deeper voice, and she kind of oscillates between these two, like mousy, like almost childlike, to very, kind of deep and more mature woman. And they're like, oh yeah, she's 19. And it's like, that girl does not look like a 19-year-old. What the hell is going on here? And as the story progresses, you find out that you are indeed in some type of purgatory, and she did some really bad shit to her dad that did really bad shit to her. And, she kind of drops the whole childlike facade because she's now past that point of defense where she knows who James is, the main character. And you start seeing what she sees in her version of Silent Hill, and everything's on fire because it's hell. She's condemned to hell, and she's one of the few lost souls that you can't save. And it's one of the most tragic, and seriously, this game has a huge emotional impact on players. And instead they replaced it with this. Yeah, they replaced it with Chungus here, and she's like Bob Hoskins in a wig, and it doesn't, even the voice, she's more assertive and more, and it's like, that's not the character. And then another one there, you see Maria there underneath James. Maria is the physical manifestation of James's subconscious, his resentment and his sexual frustration over being unable to have sex with his wife because she's dying of cancer. So this is literally his ideal sexualized version of his wife. She's sultry, she's seductive, she's trying to convince James to stay in the dream and believe the delusion. And what they did to her on the right there, she looks like she's built like a hobbit, and she's not seductive in any way. There's a reason for her being that way, and I feel like they kind of missed the point.
I mean, Chris, do you expect them to understand nuance? Do you expect them to actually engage with material? All these people do. They look at the superficial stuff, and they go from there. You really expect them to engage in material? I mean, come on, bro.
Yeah, and again, I urge anybody that can grab a copy of the original. This game is studied.
We're talking original PS2, Xbox. Please, for the love of God, stay away from the 360 or PS3 versions.
Yeah, they revoiced them all and it ruined it. But
that's the least worst thing they did for that version.
Oh God, yeah. I've heard all sorts of. They massacred that one, almost worse than they massacred this one.
To be fair, it's not entirely the studio's fault, because apparently they were given. They lost the assets, and the version they were given was pre-release, which still had a lot of bugs. So they had to re-debug the game and a lot of stuff. So they weren't given the proper tools they needed to make the remake. So I'm not going to entirely lay the stupid. As usual, frick Konami. That's the best answer.
Well, here's the thing: it's the visuals in this game are absolutely gorgeous. It's just the character designs. They made James gaunt and washed out, and that's not the point of his character. His character is, you're supposed to be sympathetic to him. You're supposed to be okay, he's a good guy, and he's got a very soft and tender voice. But as the game progresses, you realize he's not a good guy. And you're basically fighting yourself throughout the game. The whole pyramid head thing is not some satanic demon thing. It's a physical manifestation of his own subconscious punishing him for murdering his wife. And I think, like you said, I think they saw the superficial of it, or the superficial level, and went, "Yeah, let's do that. Let's make this game." And they completely missed the point.
Cat, how you doing? We're talking.
Hey, kitty.
Hey.
Also, Nix is here.
Hey.
Yay!
All right, Nix, what's your take on the whole Silent Hill debacle?
I hate the remake. It hasn't even come out yet, but I saw what they did to Maria. No. And Angela, too. It's
I'm sorry, the memes, though. The memes.
John Travolta.
Angela's whole thing is that she's this haunted 19-year-old woman who, no, I don't want to spoil it, but she's
Oh,
going
I
through
do.
a lot.
I spoiled it.
Okay.
Yeah, here I
Yeah.
did this whole rant waiting for you.
And they screwed it up. Like,
Exactly.
in the
that's my
original,
thought.
she looks haunted. She looks like she's done a lot of horrible things that she regrets and she's trying to come to terms with. Now in the remake, I don't even want to say it, but she kind of looks like Roseanne Barr.
Oh
Well,
my god.
How about the part where, like, you know, when James defeats the abstract daddy, you know, the one that basically shoots the furniture and kills it. But she was basically the reason why she like probably set fire and killed her mom and stuff was that her mom let it happen and said that she deserved it because she's an ugly thing. And it seems weird because in the original, she's actually pretty. Like you look at her character model and you're like, yeah, she's haunted and everything, but she looks like a pretty woman. And the new one, it's Bob Hoskins in a mop top, or you know, Roseanne Barr. And it's like,
Let's be fair. She did not. I've seen the artwork. She did not look like Pretty Woman. She did not have a mouth like Julia Roberts. Thank God. I mean,
yeah, she had to.
sorry, because Julia Roberts got a mouth like a horse. It goes back to her freaking ears almost.
Yeah. Well, the idea though was just that irony of.
Sorry, there's a little bit of a catty girl in me.
Yeah, it's just the irony of parents telling this obviously like attractive woman that she's an ugly piece of shit.
Believe it or not, it's not the kids that are genuinely have issues being unattractive or stuff like that, or deformed or stuff, that usually get the worst of those comments from their parents. It's usually attractive kids whose parents are trying to make them perfect
Yeah.
for some like sick, living through you BS, and it is crazy.
It's easier as that,
It's
or you
weird.
have a parent who was never really attractive, and then they have a child who's like really attractive, and they're jealous of their children.
Oh, the
and
Snow
they try
White
and cut
effect.
them down. You know, like
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've seen stuff like that before. You know, where you have like, especially like mothers and daughters. You know, or like the mother was frumpy, and then her daughter's like really attractive. Like that shit can get brutal.
My sister has a Julia Roberts mouth, and her daughter is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I look at them and go, I can kind of see where she got some of the appearances, but it's like you took the best features of my sister and erased the bad ones, and there you go. I
don't know. I feel like Emma Roberts kind of has like the best features of both Eric Roberts and Julia Roberts. Like she's kind of got all the best features of a lot of her siblings. She's like the only normal looking one of that bunch.
Then again, I don't consider myself normal looking. So who am I to say anything? I mean,
Normal's overrated. It's definitely. Nix, would you agree?
Absolutely.
as we've discussed, I have the red-headed albino chick with a chest, and I don't fit norms.
Yeah, I could say stuff that would compliment you that probably get you demonetized, but I'm going to avoid it.
I didn't actually stream it on my channel today.
I mean, yes. Like, do you remember the Mary Jane debacle? Like,
oh God, yeah,
I'm,
insert.
I'm sorry.
She's supposed to be a gorgeous actress and model. She's supposed to be beautiful. She's supposed to represent the sensational, sexual, beautiful woman. Why else would you put up with half the dumb shit she always pulled?
Yeah.
And then they turned her into one of the frumpiest, plainest women on earth with man features.
They turned her into a writer from the game. I'm sorry. If you look at Mary Jane and then you take a picture of the writer, they look very like the similarities are way too close.
Man. Well, it's the self inserts. Remember, I'm not Starfire. When Starfire in the comics.
I want to forget.
Well, Starfire is like literally like this like alien sex goddess. Okay, it's like this big thing that wants to death by snoo. Like you're like, I don't know if I should like commend Nightwing or like be worried for him, But like,
I mean, it's a little more than that. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
ladies, the mind is willing, but the body is soft and spongy.
No, the my body's willing, but the flesh is soft and spongy.
Imagine if you ever made an episode like that in the reverse, where it wasn't the women doing it, though. Imagine what would happen socially.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
Because let's be honest, there was a bunch of psycho women saying the guy is trying to kill them.
Yep. Yeah, it's only funny when it happens to men. But yeah, that's the
Actually,
best.
I think the whole plot's funny, anyways. Either way, but
I mean, to be fair, a lot of guys' fantasy is like getting stepped on by women. I mean, there's a reason why dominatrixes are a thing, and we're gonna go right over that topic.
It's more common for women to be submissive than men. Sorry. Anyway, let's move on.
All right, sorry, I got. This is the best picture I could find on short notice.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm sorry. Look at the similarities. It's too uncanny.
Yeah.
No wonder she's so ugly. I mean,
oh, this is what I get when I have Eagle on the show.
Well, but here's the thing: is like ugliness is the standard. Like we live in an ugly world.
Hey, Charlie B, how you doing?
Like most people are not super attractive or anything. So when there are attractive people, they are out of the norm. No, I'm just saying that there's a reason why.
But I like my characters to be. When I draw characters, I take the best features I like about myself and I combine them with stuff I think makes them look sexier. That's the characters I draw.
Well, it's inspiring. It's like, okay, that's what we could achieve, or that's what I want to see. That's like my ideal or whatever. And they don't do that anymore. Now they're like, we got to reflect our real world. It's like, why am I playing as a soccer mom? Why am I playing as a middle-aged
Why does my character look like her name is Karen and she's throwing things at a manager?
Yeah, it's like, and I'm sorry, when given a character creator, creates an ugly character. They go and create the hottest character. Like most guys. Oh, boob slider. Let me turn that all the way up to the top. Or they're creating a dude. Oh, there's a dick slider. Oh, I'm gonna turn that all the way up.
Let's correct that slightly. Almost no one. There are people who genuinely A, have no taste in what attractive is, or B, have some weird obsession with trying to make their characters as ugly as them. There is that weird subsect. It's the rare, but they do exist. So I won't say everyone, but generally, people want to play something that's inspiring to them, that's better than them, that's more than them.
I get you.
Or you're like Colby Kevin. You want to make the ugliest looking creature alive just for the laughs.
Yeah.
I cannot neither confirm nor deny I've ever done that. Anyway, moving on.
Yep.
Yeah. Elder Scrolls.
Alrighty. So let's do some shilling before we go into the main topic here.
Oh, sweet.
All right. So Turn Samurai, we're heading into the last week, and yeah, it's not looking so good, to be honest, but I will say, if you ordered your book, you will get it. I'll just pull down the print number will go down, but no matter what, you will get the book. I can guarantee you that right now. But hey, we got 9 days left to make this happen. So if you haven't backed 200 Samurai yet, please consider doing so. And the offer still stands. If you do back the book and you want to come on the show, I'll give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes to say whatever the frick you want. As
well as it's not going to get your channel banned.
Within reason. I'm going to put the within reason disclaimer. But yeah. So if you like good books, and I will say, the colors and all stuff done, and we are starting on the rest of the letters today. So the book should be completely done within the week. And also, I'm making moves for Screecher number 3, and that's all I'm going to say on that right now. But yeah, things are going along great. And yeah, and there'll be more information as things go along. But please back Turn Samurai if you can. Wait, what did you do, Eagle?
I'm just plotting.
Now I need to check my email.
No, nothing to you yet.
Oh God. Okay. All right. So let's go on to the main event. So
Simmy.
As you wish.
All right. Princess Bride. Probably one of the few perfect movies out there.
One of.
Anybody want a peanut?
And this is the part where I am obsessed with it. I love it and stuff. I will actually say,
Charlie,
there's parts
you
in
said
the movie I like better and how they did it in the book. She
Charlie,
wasn't as whiny and annoying in the book, and they actually called her out for it more directly multiple times.
Charlie, you say you have a weakness for redheads. Sorry, I have to do this.
Even if you said it, read heads.
You said you have a weakness for redheads. You said that, sir, right? Just put. Sorry, I had to go back there. Anyway, continue, ma'am.
So yeah, I love the movie and all that, but I do actually kind of wish in some ways Buttercup had been a little more how they had her written out in the book than what they did in the movie, where she was where he actually criticized her for not even knowing how to help fight off the rodent and for her whining and stuff during it, because I kind of actually like that part. But generally speaking, absolutely freaking amazing movie for so many reasons, and a little bit of my obsession. Little bit of my obsession. How deep should I go into how obsessed I am with this one?
Pace yourself, girl. That's all I'm gonna say. You can go as deep as you want, but pace yourself. Chris, what's your relationship with this movie?
I never saw this one in the theater. I saw it on VHS, and I ended up buying about 5 different versions of physical media of this.
Wow.
My favorite is the yeah, dude. I have 2 versions of the VHS. I have the DVD version. I have the DVD deluxe edition that has that awesome cover that you can flip upside down.
Yes.
And then I got the Blu-ray. So
yes, I also have a specialty collector's edition, which is the upgrade from the flip one, which was the As You Wish complete collection.
Yes.
I also have the gold embossed collector's edition book from the 30th anniversary that has all the behind the scenes stuff that the writers and the cast did with them. I also have multiple collector's edition coloring books from it. God, I'm such a nerd.
Yeah, I was hoping that I don't know, that they would have expanded. I know you couldn't make a sequel, but it would have been nice to have the meta characters continue on with other stories, Fred Savage and Peter Falk. It was because there is that moment where the meta story I really like about a grandfather trying to connect with his grandson. You don't get that anymore in stories.
It was such a sweet story in so many ways. And okay, so the first time I watched it, my brothers actually borrowed it from a friend of theirs who just gotten it right after it was released on video. Yes. I was quite little at this time, and me and my sister watched it with my brothers, and my parents were running errands. My brothers were babysitting, and me and my sister had the wild idea to try to see if we could recreate the cliff scene.
Oh.
With 80s tent poles.
Oh.
Ouch.
You know those big round metal tent poles that are hollow?
Unfortunately, yes.
And so she tripped flying. It hit right here. It actually cut a hole out of my lip and chipped the teeth behind it. That's actually why my top lip is at the same color as bottom one. And I talk out the side of my mouth. So that was and it still didn't stop me from being obsessed with studying sword fighting for the rest of my life after that movie either. So I don't know what that says about me, but cutting my lip open and part of it off was not enough to stop me from wanting to study this more after watching that.
Ouch.
I don't know. For me, I feel like this movie is the best example of a fairy tale on screen. Because so many times when other movies that try to do fairy tales, they kind of they get it wrong. Even when they play it straight, it kind of comes across as insincere. And I think the reason why people like this movie is exactly that. It's sincere. It's sincerity. It has a honesty to it that you don't really see in a lot of movies. They're playing it straight. They're not
making it as tight as you like.
Camera. What?
Tie him up. Make it as tight as you like. Ooh.
Dang it, girl. So, Nix, what's your relationship with this movie?
I first watched this when I was really young, A family member introduced it to me. We were at like a birthday party, and they were hanging out in another room with a couple other family members, and they're like, "Oh no, it's a fairy tale," and I was like, "Oh yuck, I don't like fairy tales," because I was like, "Oh, I'm not a girly girl. I'm not into that kind of stuff." But they're like, "No, it's funny." So I stuck around, and I loved it, and I have been in love with it ever since.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so let's do the last part of this whole weird love affair I have with it. So when I met my husband, after we actually started talking and we were off in college, we sat and talked between 2 hours. So we closed the door. We went back to the dorm and started talking for days.
Your mic is doing some weird stuff.
It should be everything's fine. I think we're going fine on the system.
I can't hear you. You're a little garbled.
Uh-oh.
No freaking sense whatsoever.
All right, you're good now.
Yeah, there's no reason it should have done anything. It's weird. So we went back to the dorms and we talked for 3 days straight without sleep or anything. Just talked and talked. About the end of this, we decided to try to date. So what did we do for our first date? Well, we were tired. We were sore. We were
You were
hungry
sore.
because we had.
I wonder why.
No, I did not do that stuff. When I was dating.
Yet.
Not till I was married.
God.
Anyway, so
Her nose is
we
growing.
decided to go out for a bit, and we just went out and ate Chinese food. Came back to the dorm again and watched Spaceballs and Princess Bride together.
Oh, that's a good
And then
combo.
he showed you his baseball.
Shut up a second! Quit being a perv.
Impossible.
Years later, as we're getting married, we had this whole love relationship where our relationship kind of paralleled us to the Princess Bride dating. And when we actually decided to get married, our wedding song was actually Storybook Love. It was actually the love song from that movie. So every year for anniversary, we rewatch it together and do all this stuff with it together. No, that was the movie my brothers got in trouble for playing for me when I was 6.
Boys, look what I got here. Where are all the white women at? And we're kids.
The sheriff is near.
A black sheriff? Why not? Working blazing saddles.
I'm obsessed with Mel Brooks. I am so obsessed with Mel Brooks. That's a whole other rabbit hole down. Anyway, but no, Princess Bride has literally been like the story that's
Charlie B, please don't. I don't want you
since I was a kid. Both from my fascination with learning sword fight, my studying fighting techniques, everything else, a lot of it stemmed from Princess Bride. So
I feel like that's a pretty common story. Like, I feel like a lot of people get interested in fencing because of Princess Bride, because it is a big part of the movie. It is like on display a lot.
True. But most of them don't spend 30 some years actually studying it in detail.
Thank God for that, Charlie.
Or have a collection of a couple hundred swords either. I mean,
we all love our swords. Us men, we love whipping out our swords and swinging them. Wait, what are we talking about again? Oh, but
I love a good sword in my hand. I mean,
probably another place. Okay. This is getting way too okay. I remember the first time that I watched this movie. It was 6th grade. My 6th grade teacher, it was one of those days where it's like, I don't feel like doing anything. So we put on The Princess Bride, and we watched that, praying. Yes, that's what I was doing. I was praying. And I remember actually I liked it. I liked it the first time I saw it. I wasn't aware of like the history behind the movie. It wasn't really until yes, phrasing.
I said it that way on purpose. What do you mean phrasing? I mean,
oh God, what am I gonna do with you, Eagle?
I don't know, but I know what my husband's gonna do with me. Yeah, it makes that noise.
I mean, if I really wanted to, I could go. Wait. I'm gonna.
the spanking noise works fine. I'm telling you.
Sorry, I had to turn on my cam to do that, so like the people didn't get confused. Okay. What's he doing to his girlfriend behind cam?
Probably nothing worse than me and my husband do. Anyways.
Language girl.
I've been actually censoring the swear words. Really good for you.
And like all movies, this it has its catchphrases. We talked about As You Wish, Inconceivable, but I think the biggest lasting legacy is this.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
I just love the way he runs after that. It's so like Monty Python kind of.
Even now, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfectly timed.
And I'm sure everyone knows the trivia that when he was doing the lines, he basically convinced himself that if he said it enough, it would bring his brother back. Zippity DMs.
I mean, I'm the one that I love the rhyming session where no more rhymes and I mean it.
Anybody want a peanut?
Okay. I gotta play this clip now.
You'll put down your rock and I'll put down my sword and we'll try and kill each other like civilized people.
I can kill you now.
Frankly, I think the odds are slightly in your favor at hand fighting.
It's not my fault being the biggest and the strongest. I don't even exercise.
There's a story that was told about this. It actually goes funny with that because he actually broke his wrist while he was filming because Andre actually suckered him into doing these stunts on these ATVs and stuff with him. Because as he put it, when Andre the Giant tells you, "Come on, join me and do something," you do it.
Okay. I thought you were going to do the other story. So my favorite story of Andre's from the set is he was doing a scene, and at one point he let out a fart. He farted for like a good solid minute, and at the end he was like, "Sorry, boss." I'm sorry. There's not a bad Andre story. Everyone loves Andre. Like, God bless you.
No,
the Giant.
no. Bad News Brown has a very bad story with Andre.
Okay. I got to hear this.
Apparently, Andre, when in wrestling, if you got on Andre's bad side, he worked very stiff, as they called it, where he actually hurt people. If somebody's not going to respect him in and out of the ring, he's not going to respect them. And quite frankly, when you're as big as him, he chooses to be nice. He doesn't have to.
Yeah, like you don't slam Andre. Andre lets you slam him.
So there was this guy, Bad News Brown, that was mouthing off to him or whatever, or was doing something backstage that really pissed off Andre. So when they were out wrestling, when they were out in the ring, Andre drank like a whole bunch of wine, like more wine than a human being could consume.
To be fair, the dude was like 7 foot tall. He can hold his.
Yeah, he had a small like winery, like a
Actually,
vineyard.
The thing about that's dangerous is if you actually have gigantism, which he did.
Yeah,
it's actually harder to drink because your heart's not the right shape for your body.
Yeah,
it's more likely to actually kill you or cause a heart attack.
So what happened was the amount of wine really played hell on his stomach. And when they got into the ring, he got into the corner and slammed Bad News Brown onto the mat and then jumped up off the second rope or whatever and landed on Bad News Brown's chest and then proceeded to have explosive diarrhea all over his chest. That was a very Bad News Brown. He said he was wearing his little blue shorts.
I guess when Bad I did the joke. I guess when Bad News Brown told Andre to blow it out your ass, he didn't expect him to do it literally.
He said it looked like Dinty Moore.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was probably the only bad. Like I was like, really, because it's like one of those like legends in wrestling stories of like.
Honestly, I could totally see Andre it. That sounds like an Andre thing to do.
I'm glad he never
Get
did
out
that
of here!
to any
I'll
of the
call the
actors.
Brute Squad. I'm on the Brute Squad. You are the
Well,
Brute Squad.
Yeah.
This is something I wasn't aware of. So Jack Skellington is in this movie, the actor?
Oh, Jerry Dandridge.
Oh, really?
And oh, damn.
He out Rikishi years
Yeah.
before.
Oh! Yeah, yeah, Rikishi looks like he's smuggling some cottage cheese.
He pulled a Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
If you get that joke, I am so sorry.
What if I do? Are you going to do anything to make up for it?
I don't know. See, the other thing is like another thing I like to do when I like to blow people's minds is the guy from. God dang it, Rose!
I
mean it
blow
like
mines
that,
too. I mean,
among other things, but anyway, I'm regretting bringing you on. But is the guy who played Inigo Montoya went on to be in Criminal Minds, and when I tell people that, like, holy crap, because like, especially if they're already fans of Criminal Minds, and they're also like they never made the connection. It's like all of a sudden now they're even more of a fan of Criminal Minds, and I love it.
Yeah.
Dang, that guy certainly got around. Like Rose.
no. You can make sexuality and stuff, but you cannot make jokes that imply sluttiness. Do not do that.
All
And
right,
that's something
fine.
that actually does piss me off.
All right, fine. Not my fault you have a healthy relationship with your husband. Nix, what are some of your favorite
That's a
moments?
bad thing.
Nix, yeah. What are some of your favorite moments?
Honestly, I don't really have one. I think the whole movie is just my favorite thing ever. It's hard to pick. It's got so many good
Charlie,
moments.
she's right here. But continue, Nix. Please go on.
The Battle of Wits.
Oh,
Inconceivable.
And in the end, they were both poisoned. Like,
yes, he had the Mithridatism there.
the battle
Slowly
was over before it began.
Yeah. Was it never? What is it? Never face a Sicilian when death is on the line, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he dies.
What did we learn?
Apparently, Vicini's a dumbass. That's what we learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some Dunning-Kruger effect right there.
Yeah, but this is what I love about the Dread Pirate Roberts is, yes, he's a skilled fighter, but he fights with his brain as much as he does his sword. And I really like it.
I like that he's a legend. Like, he's not the real Dread Pirate Roberts, and probably the guy that took him in was probably not the real one either.
He probably died some
Hey,
100
Keely.
years before.
Yeah.
Actually, he
It's just
said
a
the man
long
who trained me was not the real Dread Pirate Roberts either.
Yep.
The real Roberts is retired, blah, 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 so long, and living comfortably. They actually went into that.
Yeah, and I like how the story, it's like how Inigo Montoya is basically going to be the next Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, that would have been a killer book, would have been Inigo Montoya as the pirate.
Yeah.
Yep.
That could have been
Keely,
a
we're
killer
talking
book.
about the Princess Bride here. That's what we got going on. Also, can we just talk about the RUS, the Rats of Unusual Size?
Rodents of unusual size? I don't think they
Yeah.
exist. That was the scene that even as a kid made me cringe, was her with this giant stick and she can't even fight the thing off as it's charging her, yet alone trying to help him, and she stands there screaming as it's attacking him. I wanted to slap the shit out of her. Am I the only one who found Buttercup annoying at times?
By the way,
Oh,
you do know that rodents, the RUSs exist, right? They're called the Gambian poach rat.
Oh, damn.
God dang.
I think I've seen those in New York.
and got okay. Obvious joke.
Raising turtles.
By the way, before anyone asks, yes, I want one.
Yeah, dude, you could put a leash on that and walk them.
Look how big that thing is.
Literally.
Put a little saddle on it. Let your other rats ride them like a horse.
But yeah, our RUSs exist. The other option for an RUS is a capybara.
Oh yeah, I heard capybaras don't have any enemies.
Those
Like I
things
hear
are so
everybody's
big.
friendly with
Those
them.
those things, while they're not the same design as a rat, they're a lot closer in size to what they portrayed they are.
They actually are the world's
Yeah.
biggest rodent. They are the
Yes.
world's biggest rodent. I will say that.
Yeah, they
And
look like
yeah, you're
guinea
right,
pigs.
Chris. They are like the chillest. Like literally, they can hang like even alligators. So, like
Yeah,
like alligators will let like 3 or 4 of them just sit on their back and they just don't care. Like they're like the bros of the animal kingdom.
God, that must be
They-
nice not having to worry about any
All the
predators.
parties.
Charlie, as a person who has owned 2 male rats, I can confirm.
Yeah,
But yeah, like capybaras, they are nature's bros.
yeah.
Like,
Have you actually seen the
how crazy
capybaras
is
in person?
how crazy is this? Like
No.
Just chilling.
Even in a zoo, have you actually seen them in person?
Yes, I have.
Because I have, and they're actually. It really does almost feel like a giant hamster rat just sitting there staring at you.
Yeah, yeah, and then, yeah, just chilled too. It was like either sleeping or just standing there.
Yeah.
I wonder how they
Smell
they
makes
be
me
as, like,
sick. I'm
pets.
allergic to rodent musk, but
But
they're cute.
yeah, like I like. Okay, that's AI art, but still,
Yeah.
but just the thought, just like the image of a capybara on top of a crocodile, and they're not doing like look at that.
Yeah,
Look at
just
that.
chilling.
That is wild.
Yeah. Just chilling with his bro. You know, what's up? Hitching a ride.
Yeah, and the crocodile's letting him. Like that is. I'm sorry. I had to like.
They must have like terrible tasting meat or something.
They probably
You know what
set
I
off
mean?
they probably release a pheromone in the scent that actually detracts predators.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just probably something that the human nostrils don't really detect, but animals do. Because
Yeah.
the same reason why most predators don't attack humans unless they're desperate, because they don't like the smell of us. They don't think we
Unless
smell
you're a
good.
hippo, in which case the hippo's like, screw you.
I said
I'm gonna-
predators. Hippos are not
Yeah.
predators. They just like to kill for the fun of killing.
Yeah, they're just evil bastards.
Like I'm so like I
That's what I
just
was
love
gonna
how
say.
everyone thinks hippos are like, oh, they're water babies.
I
They
want
are
a
murder
hippopotamus for
on pork.
Christmas.
Did you ever see that video of that hippo that like took off after there's like a motorboat driving by and it strayed into like the male hippo's territory, and you just see this giant like leviathan like heave into the water and chase the thing. It's going like 40 miles per hour. Like, yeah, that's the stuff of nightmares.
Oh, the other like animal that's surprisingly vicious. A killer whale is killer. Who knew? Like those
Yeah.
things are mean as.
Because they're not whales. They've already proven this. They're actually in the dolphin family, and you can actually see it if you look at them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're a type of dolphin. Dolphins are psychotic, great animals that love torturing other animals.
The Canadian house hippo is adorable though.
Dolphins will
Hey,
literally
Neely
grab
Kay.
fish with their fins and force them to give them fellatio. There's actually video footage of this.
Really?
Dolphins are psycho. Dolphins and
They
hippos
are.
are the animals to avoid like hell.
Yeah, dolphins can be really mean. Like, don't dolphins actually like attack pufferfish just because they want to get high or something?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Damn nature, you scary. But
Yeah.
getting back to the Princess Bride, a nutria. Okay, let me take care of that real quick. I'll do that, and then we will get back to the Princess Bride. I'm only doing this because you asked me to. Okay, wow. This looks more like kind of like a woodchuck or something. Oh, I was watching Urban Rescue Ranch, and he had some of these.
Yeah, they look like beavers without the tails.
God dang! Look how big those things got. Yeah, it looks like
that looks like a beaver.
or like a muskrat or like one of those types of animals.
Yeah, like big old woodchuck.
But could a woodchuck wood?
Dude, look at that! Damn.
I mean, it's kind of cute. I will admit that.
Yeah, the orange teeth are kind of scary though.
Muskrats are creepy in person, especially when they're swimming around in the water.
I remember those commercials. Oh my god!
So that's why when I said it, only Nick's laughed because Nick's lives under the leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've never seen the Canadian house hippo? Oh my god, you need to see that commercial. It's so cute.
I live under the eagle. I have freedom, Nick. You don't.
No, it was on when you're watching the Grassy High.
I didn't watch the Grassy High. I didn't watch it.
What, are you just a hoser?
He's ignoring that comment completely, isn't he?
It's on the list though.
Like I eat so growing up we had access to CBC Windsor. That's what we had access to, and I did watch some of that. So I do have as a kid I actually did watch Mr. Dress Up, which is basically Canadian Mr. Rogers.
Mm.
Like
Dude,
Nick,
yeah,
you probably heard of Mr. Dress Up.
I surprisingly haven't. Well, I never watched him myself. I've heard of him in passing once or twice. I used to watch Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, I did watch Mr. Rogers, but we're not talking about Princess Bride. We need to get back on topic here.
Yeah.
Don't blame me. I did not distract this conversation. I was actually being good for once.
I will give you that. I will give you 1 point.
Yay!
Oh god. So another thing, like watching this movie, is the soundtrack is really interesting. Because like it was done in the 80s, and it's obviously a synth score, but it's kind of, it feels amateurish, but it still fits in a way. I don't know.
Yeah, the fantasy acoustic guitar.
Orcas and dolphins are friendly humans will straight up murk other water animals for fun.
Yeah, I saw a video of a seal jumping onto this guy's fishing boat just to hide from orcas.
They're not always friendly to human. There are cases where they've actually tried to essay people who are swimming in the waters.
Yeah, dolphins too. Dolphins have tried to essay humans.
Don't you know I'm loco?
Yeah, let's just not talk about that. But Chris actually saw that video too. It was wild.
Yeah,
because like the orca tried to come back a couple of times.
Yeah, and did you see like they were in like a what is it called, an estuary or a fjord or whatever, where it was like it wasn't even like out in the ocean. It looked like fresh water. It was freaky.
Dave, we are not talking about that thing that happened in the 60s. We're not talking about it.
Who are you trying to get crazy with this?
Oh God.
I can guarantee you these people were not willing. I've seen some of the interviews.
Luxembourg, I am so sorry. See, I think that it's like people like they watch Free Willy, or dudes they put on the movie with their girlfriends because they want to free their willy. Sorry, I had to make the joke. The joke was there.
Somebody made. I'll have to find it. Somebody made a CG Free Willy where the kid gets essayed. When it jumps, its extended organ is out and smacks him in the head.
Oh my God, no.
And it's all the Michael Jacksons here, like ooh, ooh.
God, oh my God. I can't believe they made 3 of those. Like they made 3 Willy films. It's just crazy. There was a cartoon. There was a Free Willy cartoon. You guys know that?
Wait, what?
Yeah, there was a Saturday morning cartoon they made of that show, of the movie.
Wow.
Have you seen Free Willy?
Yes, once when I was very young. I barely remember it.
I came for the Princess Bride disgusting. Oh my god!
We just aimed it, please.
So this
So
is
did
what
the
you
dolphins, apparently. I mean,
get. Hey,
Look, at that speed, you think you could pull out in time.
don't look at me because I'm not the one who the dolphins made me cry.
don't make me cry.
And there's nothing I can do. I'm
If
looking
they
for.
got near me, I just shoot them. I mean,
Oh god. Okay. So I think we'll probably watch like Free Willy will probably be a Friday night feature movie at some point. I think it just needs to happen.
I don't want to be here when you watch yourself Free Willy.
I'm gonna have to make like a really dirty pun as a title, aren't I, for that movie?
Probably.
Let's just focus on how sweet and innocent I am.
Yes, you are the most innocent of people.
Don't I look kind of like a little housewife with a little too much cleavage in this dress?
Wait, I'm sorry. You said cleavage and my mind went blank.
The dress is kind of giving that 50s housewife vibe with a bit extra cleavage.
The Chad Dolphins, days! Oh my god.
Shocking.
Okay, so getting back to the story a bit. So, Carrie Ellis, as he says it, I have trouble saying it that way because of my lip issues, but
as you wish.
Our good old Wesley, what else do you really love him in? Because I've got several parts I could go into.
I mean, if we're gonna have a Carrie Ellis love fest, I'm all for it. Also, I just want to note, first Friday night feature was Robin Hood Men in Tights with Carrie Ellis, and this one was Princess Bride with Carrie Ellis. That was not a mistake. That was deliberate because I do love Carrie Ellis.
Yeah,
Crush next week?
as many different things as I love him in, I actually think one of my favorite parts I've seen him play was actually Despero and Psych.
I just like that one movie where he had to chop his own leg off.
Oh my god! And then I saw somebody in your chat put Psych up right. It popped up here as I was saying it. I love Despero. I love the whole art thief tale through Psych. It's amazing. It goes through multiple episodes. He is such a psycho con artist and such a scuzzball in it. With a heart of gold who falls in love with the guys, you know?
Oh, also, probably another movie that might be a Friday night feature. I love him in Twister. Like, Twister is actually kind of one of those movies where he's playing against type. He actually plays like the asshole villain. He does it so well.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to go into the parts that don't feel like his normal self?
Oh, he's actually had a couple of those roles. Like, I loved him. Like, he was in Stranger Things.
Liar.
Oh God, yeah. He was kind of subdued in that one, but
yeah, he was the one that they kept calling Magoo.
Yeah, he was a bit subdued in that one. It wasn't really playing to his strength. Like,
it wasn't playing to his strength. But the thing is that he was supposed to be playing this like over-muted, subdued, dry, drab person. He played it well.
Yeah, definitely. What was he?
Plus, I just love that movie.
Do you remember Alicia Silverstone when she was young? She was in that movie Crush with him.
Oh God! Oh my God!
That was so disturbing.
It's one of the rare movies where the guy is not trying to lust over the young kid and he's getting screwed over.
It's like reverse Lolita, and it's scary as hell. Like you actually feel afraid.
That does actually happen. There are these girls who get obsessed with older guys who will try to push them into it, no matter how much they try to resist.
It happens more than you realize.
Do you remember Sting, Gordon Sumner? There, he wrote a song about it when he was a teacher, and there was a student that was like trying to get with him, and he wrote a song called "Don't Stand Too Close to Me." Don't stand, because it was like, yeah, like I'm trying to be professional here, and I got this, underage girl throwing herself at me, and there's nothing I can do, like other than run.
And Melee.
You got to go
Melee
into
Kate.
Glory too.
No. I gotta say this. Melee, if you're still in the chat, this one's for you. I actually loved him and Knuckles. Like, he actually did a really good job. Like, it's kind of like becoming a running gag with Melee Kate and like Knuckles, but I actually thought he was a really good villain in that one.
I just have to point out, because I think that's one of the ones where it really showed how deep he could get in acting was when he was in Glory, because he went deep in that military stuff.
Yeah, Glory was an amazing film.
I mean, okay, Carrie's one of the ones I'm obsessed with as an actor. I really am. It's not like the ones where I got a crush on him or anything. It was never a crush. It was just I love his acting so much I'm obsessive, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's hard to define. He's
like
just
a British.
It doesn't matter what
he's
character
just such a
he's
charming
playing.
individual. He's just such a charming individual. And it's like,
even though he was such a scuzzball in Ella Enchanted.
oh my god! So one of the stories I love to tell, I love that he tells is, you got to remember, Princess Bride didn't do well at first. The VHS market pretty much saved the movie. So he did the movie, and he didn't think it was a big hit. And then, like, he talks about 10 years later, he's at a diner getting like a cheeseburger, and he orders it, and then the waitress says, "As you wish," and then leaves. And that was the moment he realized the movie was a hit. Hey, Charlie B, thanks for sticking around. Check out Turn Samurai if you can. Yeah, Knuckles Gang, represent. Oh God, I do love Cary Elwes. It's just, you see him in all the interviews. He's just such a charming fellow. I
mean, there's so much you can go on to with the Princess Bride cast. I mean, for crying out loud, you Kate and Crystal there playing the crazy ones, and I mean, I love Max and his wife. I love Max and his wife.
Oh, yeah, Billy Crystal. Like, yeah, Billy Crystal is one of those things. It's like, wait, Billy Crystal's in that movie?
Billy Crystal is weirdly the fact that he plays his part so well, and that usually you don't focus on him because he's usually a secondary character to somebody else who's more outlandish. But some of the movies he did where he was the lead, he did them so well. I'm not even a big fan of romantic movies or romantic comedies, but Forget Paris, hilarious. And some of the comments he made in that you could get in so much trouble for today.
Also, have you noticed that Billy Crystal kind of started to disappear in the 2000s? By the 2010s, he was like, I really feel like Billy Crystal is unknown to Zoomers and Alpha. Because millennials know him. But beyond that, like most Zoomers at that had never even heard of Billy Crystal.
It's a shame, man, because first film I ever saw him in was Running Scared.
Dave, I approve.
And then Throw Mama from the Train. And then I watched Soap on reruns on Comedy Central.
Soap was the thing that my mom played to get me hooked on. I remember Billy Crystal when he was on a couple of the episodes of All in the Family as basically one of Mike's scuzzball friends.
Meathead.
Yeah, I think the reason actors who don't stick around
stick it out like a sore thumb.
Billy Crystal was everywhere in the 80s and the 90s. Like, he was everywhere in the 80s and the 90s. He started Peter on 2000s. Like, the thing about Cary Elwes is an actor. He pops up every few years. Like for example, he did Saw is another, like, I think that was kind of like the start of the second one of his career. Like, really kind of
it was a surprise. Yeah.
Oh my God, Steve Guttenberg. Oh my God.
Oh man, Mahoney.
He was everywhere for so long. Hey, I still love Short Circuit. Come on.
Yeah, Steve Guttenberg kind of petered out in the 90s. So like a lot of oh my God, a lot of the younger millennials don't even know him.
Yeah, he was a great. I loved like most of the films he was in. I can't think of one that I disliked.
He has done some recent movies, but they're like really bad movies for Sci-Fi Network.
Oh no! Ooh, the Sci-Fi original.
Lava-Lantula and shit like that. He did, yeah.
Sharktopus.
Okay, to be fair,
something
about those really horrible, really over-the-top horror movies. That could be fun to watch when you just want to sit there and make fun of it constantly and laugh at the characters dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why Sharknado was a hit at first, because like it was such a ridiculous concept and they kind of ran with it. I think that's why like it's like you were in on the joke when you watched the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And I can't get into most horror because the plot, they don't scare me. So if they take their plots too serious, I sit there picking the plot apart and I get bored. But when you're doing it intentionally to be comedic and in your face and over the top and all that, to me, it's more fun.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people who watch horror movies. Plus, the other thing about horror movies is it's kind of the last bastion of creative filmmaking. Because if you look at the horror scene, they're really the only genre that's kind of doing interesting things with their films, like interesting premises, camera techniques. Plus, a lot of great filmmakers come up from the horror scene.
Oh yeah, they start off in horror.
Okay, this is the thing. I grew up with my grandmother, obsessed with her horror movies and always watching them and all this and stuff. And I can remember being like 3-4 years old and walking into the room where I'm at her house staying with her for a few hours. And she's watching something. I don't know what it was, but literally watched this meat hook go through somebody.
Ooh.
And I look at the TV and go, that's stupid and boring, and walked out of the room.
All right, Eagle. Melee K is calling your name.
Oh, like clowns.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like I've seen snippets of it. I've never actually seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I just think it's such a stupid movie. I just never really saw it myself.
It is, but if you're going to get to the stupid stuff from outer space, you got Earth Girls are easy for that.
Interestingly, they actually made a Killer Clown from Outer Space game just like a little while ago. It's one of those horrible, you have to have friends to play it, top-down kind of killer things.
Oh, it's an asymmetrical multiplayer game that's gonna get shut down in 2 weeks.
Yeah, basically.
Which has like $1,500 in microtransactions.
I feel like these games are trying to take a piece of the Dead by Daylight pie, but they don't really understand why Dead by Daylight became so popular.
Well, not only that, also Friday the 13th. Like Friday the 13th, like I think they actually struck gold with that game, but the problem is the rights issues killed that game before it could really get going, because it had some netcode issues. But because of like Chris, are you familiar with the Friday 13th rights issues that's kind of been going on?
Yeah, I mean, I know that that game was like dead in the water at one point, despite it having a pretty decent server like population. Like there were people on Steam like, no, wait, and then the game just got yoinked.
Yeah, because for an asymmetrical multiplayer, they actually had a cool setup. One person plays as Jason, the other plays as the campers. Was the game perfect? No, but if it would have stayed on long enough, a lot of the kinks would have gotten ironed out. And I know I just said a word that got Rose's attention.
You're trying so hard. It makes it harder for me to actually take you serious.
You said hard.
Are you fucking
actually? One of the YouTubers I watch actually played the Evil Dead game too that this company made. Another asymmetrical multiplayer game, but apparently it actually has some mechanics that go above and beyond. But I don't know if anyone's still playing it.
Wasn't there a Predator one? Like, didn't they make a Predator version of the Friday 13th one? Or something?
I don't think so. I've never heard about it.
But yeah.
Yes, they have. Stayed off my radar.
The thing about it is, I think with this whole thing, and it's one thing I will give credit to with the psychological stuff's a lot more interesting than just flat horror.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Even though the psychological stuff, a lot of this problem with a lot of the horror genre for me also is that they rely so much on special effects and most of it's not even safe for me to watch. So I can't even immerse in it because I have to be constantly guarding my eyes in case of things.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which
because like
is-
a lot of the makeup innovation in the '80s came from horror. Like if you try and watch the American Werewolf in London transformation scene, it still holds up. Actually, I would argue it still looks good today.
I honestly can't watch horror movies anymore because they've all become so bland and boring that I'm just like, you know what? Fine. I'll go to video games. Thanks. And
My
even then, I
grandma-
mostly go to indie games.
My
Yeah,
grandma
because
always watched horror around us, and it never bothered me, and it gave my brother nightmares and fears to this day.
I think for a lot of like millennials and Zoomers, because once the 2010s rolled around, the way they got their horror was through like stuff like creepypasta and stuff and like some like horror games like Slenderman and whatnot. So like the way that people have engaged with horror has vastly changed.
Yeah. I wish horror like I watched it way too young. I was exposed to horror films way too young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if it damaged something there, but like horror movies don't scare me. A lot of times they annoy me, and I'm cheering for the bad guy.
I'm always cheering for the bad. Okay. Me and my husband freaked out my uncle and my aunt one time when we were visiting, because we're sitting there visiting and he's watching these like different apocalypse movies and stuff, all these apocalyptic horrors and stuff, and we're sitting there all talking, and me and my husband every so often would be making fun of the movie, and at one point they're going 30 minutes in and only one person died. Worst apocalypse ever! Kill the movie!
Do you want to know like the biggest horror movie ever? Showgirls. It is a horrible movie.
Ah, yes.
Horror movie.
It's a horrible movie.
There's a lot of horrors in there.
I actually feel bad because the actress from Saved by the Bell, it pretty much killed her career.
Elizabeth Berkley.
Yeah. Like she was actually a good actress. I'm so excited. I'm so that moment. That is like haunted her for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Who remembers like you guys remember watching that back in the day? It's so campy now, but like back then, because like every show back then had to have like a drug episode.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Dinosaurs did it the best. Like they had like the happy plant and whatnot, and like just
this version of steroids they did in Dinosaurs was great.
Yeah. Robbie.
Dinosaurs did a lot of them best because they didn't do it seriously. They did it tongue in cheek, and they did a lot of adult humor that really they should not have gotten away with. There's lines in that we can't say on YouTube without getting flagged by the algorithm that were in Dinosaurs.
And just like every clout chasing TikToker, we have to mention the finale of
Yeah.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, the most bleak and
yes,
disturbing.
just like every clout chasing TikToker, we have to talk about it. Where they went into the Ice Age and like environmentalists and stuff like. But you got to admit, that was a dark way to end the series. Fitting, but dark.
There were episodes throughout the series where they had archaeologists studying the remains of that family, including Baby is Baby. So if they were paying attention, it told you early in the show that they were going to kill all the characters.
I mean, they're dinosaurs. You kind of expected it, so.
Yeah, but, yes and no. It could have just been based in an era before the actual collapse and death. But they actually gave you keys throughout the show that these characters were going to die while the baby was still little.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say this. I know it's a bit of a cliche thing to say, but Dinosaurs is literally a show that will never be made again. Because, like, the use of the animatronics, there's no way a studio would sign off on that level. Like, they'll just say, just CG it.
Yep.
You know, or they'll do like a mocap, or they'll do like an Andy Serkis mocap kind of thing. If they want really like, put him in create a foam green dinosaur suit, put an actor in it. We'll CG the rest. You know.
Yep. Yeah, they'll green screen it out.
So yeah, I think that's why I don't know. Like I feel like this is kind of like a really good topic we should probably save for next week. of like 80s movies holding up special effects. Yeah, that's gonna be next week's topic, guys. So I'm gonna put it, but yeah. Here's the other thing. Do you think they're ever gonna make a remake this movie? Like, I know like people have been wanting to.
Oh, they were actually starting to plan it, and the original cast went ballistic and said to leave it alone publicly.
Well, not
Good.
like people on social media.
I'm saying they actually were talking seriously about remaking the movie a few years ago, and Ellis and a bunch of the cast went ballistic on the studios publicly on Twitter and told them off for even thinking about it.
It's the same reason we haven't gotten a Back to the Future reboot. Is because Robert Zemeckis has been blocking it. I mean, they did the stage stuff, but like, come on, you don't think studios have been they probably really wanted to reboot Back to the Future.
Oh, we know they
Right. So then, Marty, we can have a black woman that goes back to the 1950s, and everybody treats her normally. It's like, wait, what?
God, I could totally see that conversation happening.
Yep.
But like, I remember hearing like, oh, they should do Princess Bride, but reverse the genders. They could have it be like, oh, the grandpa is telling the story differently. Like, it's just totally misses the point of everything.
It was supposed to be a traditional fairy tale. It was supposed to be Save the Princess. It was supposed to be campy. It was supposed to be cheesy. It was supposed to be full of weird comedy and goofy moments, but also have some fun and some craziness and some battles and some coolness. And yes, I think she should have been a little less pathetic and whiny. I've said that since the day I first watched it when I was a little girl. And in the book, she was not as bad, and she was more criticized for it, which is one of the things I like about the book. And I do recommend reading it to anybody who does.
Also, Dave, you mean like how they waited until Harold Ramis's corpse was even cold when they announced the reboot of Ghostbusters?
Yep. God,
you realize that the whole plan with the stupid Rings of Power show, when they first signed the contracts for that, there was all kinds of things that they were contracted that they were not allowed to do with the show.
Oh yeah, they waited until Christopher Tolkien passed away.
They literally his kids announced that they were going to do the show with him and that they were starting filming 2 days after he died and changed everything in the contract.
Kill him.
I absolutely, and you know what? I have issues with things that Christopher Tolkien said and did. He did not get some of the stuff his dad was and stood for. He did not understand the spiritual side of him. I have problems with the fact that he did Lord of the Rings tarot cards and shit, considering how hardcore Catholic his dad was.
Yeah, if Tolkien saw the tarot cards, he would have had a right
I don't think he was malicious. I think he just didn't understand that side and didn't think he was doing anything wrong. Whereas his kids are actually malicious.
And also Christopher Tolkien cared about his father's legacy. Now, you can disagree with how he carried his father's legacy, but you can't deny he did everything he can to protect his father's legacy. In his own, in his opinion.
That's why I said I don't think he was malicious. I think he just didn't get it.
Well, it's the 3-generation rule. It happens all the time. The first generation builds, the second generation squanders, the third generation loses it.
Or the third generation intentionally screws it.
Well, I would say, well, sometimes it gets delayed. Sometimes you have the first generation builds, the second generation expands, and then the third generation squanders. You do see that sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
And I think that's what happened with Lord of the Rings. J.R. Tolkien built it. Christopher Tolkien expanded it. And
as much as he had issues, there's several things he wrote based on the trilogy, based on the characters from Middle Earth and stuff. There's several books he wrote or he finished writing that his dad was writing based on that were actually solid and actually understood the characters and their development. Whereas look at and even wrote stuff for After the King, all this other stuff. There was all kinds of things he wrote about it. And they were solid and they were good. I don't think he had the spiritual side of his father down, and I think part of why he agreed with Jackson to toss the whole Armadillo and all that stuff and some of the Battle for the Shire and stuff is because that's where a lot of his father's faith came through in the book, was in those scenes. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that he didn't get those scenes. They weren't as important to him. But again, I don't think it was ever malicious. I think he just didn't get that. Because I think he really cared about the characters when you see the stuff he wrote.
Yeah, I think that's also kind of a lot of things is when you have
his grandson's full Wokey. He's into all the gender change and all that shit.
Yeah, and I because like I do think because Christopher Tolkien grew up with J.R.R. Like he he understood it. He kind of thing. But like I don't think the grandson did he ever even meet J.R.R. or whatever?
I don't know.
Well, you remember that quote that Tolkien said about evil? It can't create; it can only corrupt.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we know who his grandkids are.
But yeah, I see that. I do kind of see that a lot. You see it a lot with things where like when people grow up in the shadow of something, when they get a hold of it, they just want to destroy it or just like, all right, I'm gonna cash in. I don't care, kind of thing. Like I know a lot of John Lennon's kids. They hate their father.
Oh yes.
So do I.
This is the thing people take so out of context with Tolkien is yes, he hated full allegory. He hated when your story was so based on trying to recreate another story that you didn't create something unique. However, he also openly talked about the inspirations behind things and stuff. This is where people don't get it when you talk about, yes, he had metaphors. Yes, he had metaphors. He did not have allegories. There was a difference. He had metaphors where he drew some of it. He created things, but it wasn't a full creation. It wasn't a full allegory. And he did that on purpose. So he could be inspired by faith, by mythology, by his war experiences, from all that. But it wasn't a direct retelling. It wasn't in your face. And yes, he was very, very close friends with C.S. Lewis. And they got competitive with who could write stories better with each other. And there's documentation of that.
Reportedly, he read Dune and he hated it. I think the reason he hated Dune is, yes, Dune is an allegory, but I also think a lot of the themes, like the themes of the book are so antithetical to his belief system that, like, I think he was predisposed to hate it.
See, and I liked it. I like the books, that is. I've not been fond of any of the iterations they try to make, but I like the books.
Well, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, I mean, that was full-on religious.
That was in your face. And the thing is, C.S. Lewis and Tolkien, friends, they're both voted Catholic.
Yeah, like...
Parents I won't get into, but they were best friends. They were Catholics. They shared a lot of the same faith. And one... Yes, his faith is in the story, but it's subtle and it's kind of implied in parts and stuff. And there's stuff in his continuity notes and in his personal Bible that, because he wrote notes in the side notes of his Bible about how he is drawing inspiration from these characters in the Bible to help create this character or this species. And he did write that. That does not mean it was an allegory. It wasn't trying to retell their story. It was an inspiration. And that's the difference. And people don't seem to understand that. You know?
Yeah, it sucks how modern fantasy has just basically been a derivative of a derivative of a derivative of Tolkien. Like, I see a lot of books, like we look at like all the pop culture that's fantasy now, and it's like, yeah, you're basically just aping off of Lord of the Rings. Like,
well, the problem that I see is
Martin.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh my God. Martin hates Tolkien. Martin, he
called him out.
And yet he steals from his shit constantly to make it into a psycho soap opera version of it. That's stupid.
Yeah, he does. He puts it. He makes it all like the anti-hero version. Like, I mean, what if Frodo was a bastard?
Say what you will about Wheel of Time. At least that series got finished.
Yeah.
It took Brandon Sanderson to come in and finish the series after he died, but at least he left extensive notes, and they picked a great author to finish the series. So at least Wheel of Time is done.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Here's what we might get: Winds of Winter before he died, because apparently he wrote a lot during COVID. So I think we might see Winds of Winter before he dies, and probably the last book will probably have to be finished by someone else. I know he says, because he doesn't want someone else to finish the book. Oh
yeah, Quarrel nails it.
But yeah, here's the thing: when Martin is dead, he won't be able to stop people from finishing his book. Someone will finish the series.
Even if they do full copyright protections and they lock it down for so long, you can only lock it down for so many decades. Eventually, somebody will write it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It all depends on the estate, because if the estate says, "Okay, we're going to let this happen," there's not a guy like it doesn't matter what his will says.
Yeah.
If there is a legal desire, if the lawyers want to get around it, they'll do it. You know.
Yeah, actually, it is. And like I said, even if the estate and the people who take over after him keep the protections, do all the stuff like he says he wants, you can only protect so long before it's copyright free and you can write what you want.
Or I guess my argument is money's going to talk. Like, I think the publisher is going to sit down with his estate and say, all right, here are 5 dump trucks full of cash. Let us do this. And they're going to be like, okay.
Grandpa who? He was an asshole. Okay, let's get to work. I mean, right?
Yeah.
He's such a hack.
I do think the ending of the TV show broke him a little bit. Like,
oh, dude, it destroyed
his series. Sorry, did I say good? I really can't stand him. I hate him. He's a hack. He is the worst. Okay, I give criticism. I'm a Trekkie. I give criticism all the time to how much Roddenberry took from other people. He was a shameless plagiarizer. But at least Roddenberry was actually relatively open about it. Martin does it, and then he bashes the people who plagiarizes. It's like freaking big shot YouTuber who's always cloning everyone else's videos and then claiming they're doing it to her. That's him.
I mean, we can't. I think we need to give him some charity because he did create an interesting work. I think we need to acknowledge.
I find it interesting. I find it like a soap opera on acid set to Middle Earth. I hate it.
I mean, that's fine.
Hate it.
But people did find Game of Thrones interesting. The story, the characters. There's a reason why it became so popular.
Lots of sucky stuff's popular. I mean,
I will.
Well, I really enjoyed
it. Gave my younger brother a huge crush on Kit Harington. Not a real crush, but I will pretend like it is. And I can tease him about it every day now.
No, I really enjoyed up until like the 5th or 6th season.
When they ran out of material.
Yeah, when they
realized
they
George R. R. Martin literally wrote episodes. Like, he was deep in the trenches of the creation of that show. And Benioff and Weiss, to their credit, when they're adapting, like there are whole cloth stuff they created, like the whole Tywin and Arya like thing. That was a TV show creation. And I think that whole scenario was great. Like, the interaction with Tywin and Arya really added to the characters. And that was a TV show creation.
Yeah.
There are certain lines I do like I forget his name because I didn't really watch the show, but Peter Dinklage's character talking about using your faults as armor.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a dwarf, you're a bastard.
No. I know, I got the quote. I got the quote in my head. Oh, so you're a bastard. Wear it like armor, and then no one can use it against you. Basically, own your shit.
Yeah.
Like, do you realize how whitewashed Tyrion is in the show? Like, if you actually read the books.
Oh yeah, he's a bastard.
Evil.
Yeah, he's a little shit.
Like Tyrion is in the books is like an evil bastard with some redeeming qualities, and in the show, he's a tragic figure with some evil qualities.
That's because apparently it was done because a lot of people ended up liking Peter Dinklage in the role, and there were two.
He's a great actor. He's a great actor.
He's were two who sold out other people with dwarfism, but
that is true.
But oh God, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah,
it's cowardly though to go and whitewash a character that much because people like this character. Yeah, and they'll probably still like him if you're faithful to the books.
Yeah, respect the source.
And they also whitewashed Cersei to a certain extent because she is a piece of work in the book.
Try somehow to get this back on track. I
this
was
is
just
Friday
taking a cheap shot at him. I really hate this show and don't want to talk about it.
Rose, we are in the section of the stream where we go wherever we want to go. So
I'm trying to change the course. I'd rather freaking drill my. I'd
But,
rather
like,
get a dental drill in the nipple than talk about that asshole.
so like with Cersei, she's still a piece of work on the show, but they kind of gave her some. I'm trying to have a discussion here.
I'm not talking about that shitty show.
All right, fine. What do you want to talk about, Eagle? What do you want to talk about? You are so dead set. I'm not talking about it. You pick it up.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
God. We were having a good discussion, then Eagle was like, nope, we're not doing this.
Try to be that bad. I don't know. I have moments.
So Chris, so I hear you have to go.
Yes.
Oh God, we're
Yep.
losing. We're dropping like flies. Nix has to go now too.
Uh-oh. Well, let's put it this way. Do you want to keep talking and be stuck with me, or do you want to end the stream?
Let's just end the stream. I mean, we're having.
He's running away. He's running away.
We're having a good Game of Thrones discussion, but I guess
there's no such thing. There's no such thing.
Oh, fuck off.
Damn.
Censor yourself for your stream to be respectful. Come on.
All right, if you're here, please like, and you've been commenting, that I appreciate that. If you haven't backed 2100 Samurai, please do so yet. It's a really good book. All right, well, let's kind of wrap it up here. Let's kind of say our final thoughts. Chris, anything you want to shout out? Where can people find you? What you got going on?
Oh, hell yeah. Tonight on Good Stuff at 8 o'clock, Broken Compass Entertainment will be launching Magnificent Bastards Volume 2. So that's definitely something worth checking out. Magnificent Bastards Volume 1 was amazing. So
all right,
we get to see Book 2.
Hey,
and,
Inquisitor.
Yeah, that's where I have to get going in like a minute or so. But yeah, other than that, thanks for having me on, man. I really enjoyed talking about Game of Thrones.
I wasn't keeping talking about it. I was just taking the headphones off so I wouldn't want to off myself.
So speaking of Game of Thrones, I actually will be doing a stream for House of the Dragon Season 2 every Sunday with Outlaw Star.
Clearly, I won't be here. Clearly,
No,
I
got Ben from Outlaw Star. I'm good.
No, tell Ben, send him my love because I've known him and streamed with him for years. Send him my love when you do it, okay?
Oh, he's a great guy. I've streamed him before. He's cool. But yeah, we'll be talking about every episode. But Nix, what you got going on? Also, apparently, Nix, don't you want people to smell good or something?
Yeah, I've got a perfume business going on. Hit up Little Witch Dales on Twitter.
Drop the link in the private chat, please. I'll share. Actually, you can share it on your own. You have mod privileges.
Yeah, I just gotta go here and find it.
Yes, I gave Nix a wrench. I regret it every day.
We've got a new scent out. Bubblegum, actually.
Mm.
And cotton candy is now available as well.
Nix, are you going to answer that?
No, just commenting.
No, Nix, what's your response? Yes. But Nix uses their powers for good, not evil, so we're safe. All right, Eagle. First off, fuck you. And secondly, what you got going on, and what you want to shout out?
Okay, if you don't want me to censor myself, fuck you too. But anyway, I've been trying to be good for the stream.
And you have, and I appreciate it. I'll give you credit.
No, other than follow the Eagle Rider over at YouTube, I'm still freaking shadow banned everywhere. I can't get anything shared or promoted anywhere, no matter what I do. So look for Eagle Rider, find the native chick on Eagle back for the artwork. Go over to Twitch, follow the one Eagle Rider, and try to follow Roseanne Queen 1 over on X. I will be streaming in about half an hour with Netcat, and we're going to start dissecting some of the bullshit going on with the community and some of the people we've been dealing with over the last while.
Yeah. Thank
So-
you for choosing your words carefully. I appreciate it.
I was making sure I didn't A, say anything worse than bullshit, and B, did not name people on your stream. I'm being respectful.
Yeah, because
and I don't usually name people on my channel either, but it's bad enough right now. I'm going to. So
what you doing? Is your business. So
those who want to get into the gutter snipe a little bit, have fun, and come to my channel in about a half hour. I am going to.
Yeah, we are not a drama stream, but if you want drama, go to Eagle. She has lots.
And I'm not normally a drama stream either, and it's a one-off thing. So
Girls,
it's not continuing.
Get the engagement. Do it. So
that's not even that. I just want to tell them whether to go. I mean,
you want to tell them to stick it where the sun don't shine. I get it. Yeah, it's okay. She's like Jerry. So, like I said, check out Turn Samurai. Back if you can. Share it if you can. Thank you everyone for joining us. I'll be on Jared's stream tonight. I'll be making sure you can to plug him. Also, Wonderbass in the chat, everyone, please. Wonderbass in the chat. And please make sure if you do go to Jared's stream, please spam Wonderbass in the chat for me. We love to piss him off. Then tomorrow I'll be streaming The Witcher 3 with Nyx, and let's just say it'll be quite super. Yes, I'll be playing with the Henry Cavill mod. Oh, yep. We're not going to mention that. But thank you, everybody. You guys are awesome. And remember, I can only show you the door. You guys don't have to walk through it.